TVA had arrested a lot of Lokis, but no, I don't remember an alligator. I mean, who's to say he's even a Loki variant?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 weirdest variants of Marvel characters.
I pledged to use my powers for good, and even join the Avengers. Ready, Spider Monkey?
Right with you, Spider-Ham. Go hog wild! You've earned nothing! Get off of me island, you scurvy maggots!
For this list, we'll be looking at the strangest alternate versions of both heroes, villains, and everything in between that this comic company has created. Who is the strangest Marvel variant you've ever seen? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, Juggerduck.
Every duck's got his limit, and you scum have pushed me over the line.
Seeing Professor Charles Xavier put his mental powers aside to become an absolutely jacked version of the Juggernaut was bizarre, but that odd mutant mashup looks normal when compared to Juggerduck. This character took the normally diminutive Howard the Duck and gave him a growth spurt as well as mutant powers. As an added weird bonus, he works for an alternate version of the Guardians of the Galaxy led by Cable. Although we don't see much of Juggerduck in action, we know Howard can be a dangerous duck at times in his normal form. The thought of him having mutant powers is just foul.
Now, you and Babyface are gonna beat it, right, Mr. Zitz? Before I get really mad.
Number 9, a Peter Parker adopted by his nemesis. In most Spider-Man stories, J.J. Jameson tries to discredit Spider-Man while disrespecting Peter Parker.
Spider-Man, hero or menace? Exclusive Daily Bugle photos.
Menace? He was protecting that armored
I'll tell you
car
what,
from those-
Atticus, you take the pictures, I'll make up the headlines, okay? All right? That okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Their relationship gets an odd twist in one what-if story. At the start of the comic, a sabotaged rocket claims the lives of Peter's Aunt May and Jameson's son. Spider-Man is blamed for everything.
Who is Spider-Man? He's a criminal, that's who he is. A vigilante, a public menace.
In the wake of the tragedy, JJ adopts Peter as his own boy. Spider-Man's true identity remains secret until Peter takes off his mask before running into an intense battle. To save his new son, JJ puts on a robotic Spider Slayer suit and fights villains with the webhead. There's still something strange about seeing these old enemies combating crime together. Who would have ever thought the newspaper mogul would ever protect Spider-Man from villains?
We don't know who he is.
You are useless, you.
Set him down, tough guy.
Number 8, a fictional Fantastic Four full of real Marvel writers.
She's right, Dad. It's been a while since you were in an over-the-top climactic superhero fight. Be careful.
Thanks, kids, but I got this.
This version of the Fantastic Four shattered the fourth wall by getting really meta with the lineup. Instead of stacking the team with fictional characters, this new ensemble consisted of 4 real Marvel employees. Editor Stan Lee was Mr. Fantastic, Vice President Saul Brodsky was Human Torch, artist Jack Kirby became The Thing, and Secretary Flo Steinberg is Invisible Girl. They bizarrely got the powers after opening a box loaded with cosmic rays that was sent by a Skrull. Watching all these actual artists wielding superpowers in between making comics while in a comic is surreal.
I call this one the blender.
Now that the MCU is embracing a multiverse, maybe this weird team will follow in Stan Lee's footsteps and make a live-action cameo.
Welcome back to the Baxter, Dr. Richards. I've got the usual for you. Good to have you back, sir.
Number 7, a punishing Sorcerer Supreme.
You think you're some kind of sorcerer? Don't think for 1 minute you second-rate.
All right, bye-bye.
Shortly after a vampire version of the Juggernaut fatally wounds Doctor Strange, the ghost of the Sorcerer Supreme seeks out someone who can carry on his magical work. The Mystic Man decides to settle on the Punisher for some reason.
You want me, come get me. I'm right here.
Armed with the cloak of levitation and Doctor Strange's advice, Frank Castle takes on all the heroes and villains who have been turned into vampires. The sight of the Punisher wearing a magical cloak of levitation while wielding a machine gun is just unnatural. And unfortunately for this abnormal version of Castle, his sorcerer stint came to a swift end after he tried to defeat a vampire Wolverine. This out-of-place Punisher made it clear the character should stick to using guns.
How do you feel about that? Finish this where it all started.
Number 6, Doctor Strange Man-Thing.
Whoa! What is that?
That, child, is the Man-Thing.
Man-Thing was a normal doctor named Theodore Salas who was turned into a swamp creature after an odd accident. Stephen Strange was a famed surgeon until he hurt his hands in a car accident and embraced mysticism.
To conjure shields and weapons. To make magic.
Their somewhat similar backstories may have been what inspired Marvel to combine the two characters into one ridiculous being in a what-if story. In this universe, Strange gained his swampy appearance while trying to turn Salas back to normal. While other characters in the narrative seem to be okay with his appearance, it's hard for us to accept seeing a Sorcerer Supreme with vines growing out of his face. Is he sure there's not a spell that can't help himself look a little more human?
What if I told you that your own body could be convinced to put itself back together in all sorts of ways?
Number 5. Pretty much everyone in the Marvel Apes universe. There's an alternate universe where all the heroes are primates that can talk as well as any of the animals in the Planet of the Apes franchise.
Caesar love humans more than apes.
But talking ape Vengers is the least weird thing about these variants. In this universe, the cosmic rays that created the Fantastic Four gave the primate version of Sue Storm a human form that she shamefully hides with her invisibility powers. While seeing her shunned is odd, that's nothing compared to Captain Ape America. He brutally punishes criminals who don't agree to change and has multiple secrets. This Cap is both an imposter and a vampire. Honestly, Cap and the legions of absurd characters in this universe make a Planet of Apes sound realistic.
I thought we had a chance.
I did too.
Number 4. Dogpool. If we mention there's a silent variant of Deadpool, it sounds like we're bringing up the horrible Wade Wilson from X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Stryker finally figured out how to shut you up.
But we're actually talking about Mindpool. While both quiet versions of the Merc didn't last long, the much stranger Dogpool endured. This canine character was forced to endure horrible testing for a substance called Mascara X. After escaping from cruel captors, he realized he couldn't die and was hired for the circus. His talents eventually get the dog drafted to the Deadpool Corps. Despite sharing the name with a zany Merc, the canine bizarrely seems like a normal pup most of the time. We expected this odd variant to act less like the average pet and more like a wild mercenary dog.
No!
Number 3, an Aunt May that serves Galactus.
I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength.
Although we've seen Peter's Aunt May stand up to supervillains before, we never thought we'd see her work for a gigantic antagonist. However, there's a universe where she accidentally becomes the herald of Galactus. May dramatically calls herself the Golden Oldie. After getting Galactus hooked on Twinkies, she flies around Earth to grab enough desserts to feed her boss.
In fact, the only thing he was more obsessed with than killing zombies was finding a Twinkie. Something about a Twinkie reminded him of a time not so long ago.
Well, it sounds like the kind character would never get along with the sinister Galactus. She's weirdly good at her job. Golden Oldie even manages to find a permanent way to stop her boss from consuming any more planets. Maybe this Aunt May story will inspire Galactus to keep choosing more outside-the-box characters as his heralds.
How could you willingly serve this thing?
Because I must.
Doesn't it bother you? All the worlds and innocent people you've helped destroy?
Number 2. Power Pachyderms. After a group of elephants is hit by radiation, they give birth to 4 creatures who have human and elephant characteristics. Their existence only gets weirder when it's revealed that they all have superpowers. While one of the members takes after Elektra, the rest have the same powers as the mutant Cyclops, Wolverine, and Colossus respectively. We were willing to get past their odd appearances and accept that they were talking elephants. However, seeing the Elektra counterpart fall into radioactive makeup and get empowered by the all-powerful Phoenix Force was too ridiculous.
I don't believe your mind games are going to work anymore, Charles.
At least this bizarre elephant team's encounter with the Phoenix Force ended better than it usually does for the mostly humanoid X-Men.
Save me.
I love you.
Before we reveal our bizarre top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Lobo the Duck. Marvel's Howard is combined with DC's Lobo to form a bounty hunter that knows quack fu. Dark Beast, an insanely evil version of a popular X-Men hero. Hulk the Menace. Try not to get this Kid Hulk angry before recess.
Hulk! HP Green? I totally know him. Funny, because I don't know you. Who the Hulk are you?
Marvel Mangaverse Punisher. So Sumi Brown's alternate version of the Punisher uses a fan as one of her weapons.
You're not going to master it in one day. Even I'm not that good.
I think I'm starting to get it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Iron Goblin.
Here, take this. You find him, you put that on. You hide.
The idea of the brilliant inventor Tony Stark using Green Goblin tech doesn't sound that crazy on paper. But wait until you hear his absurd backstory. After Tony Stark is captured by a Spider Queen, she transforms him into an anthropomorphic spider. His allies make him human again by spraying him with Osborn's Green Goblin formula. Unfortunately, the formula warps his personality.
And in the trial that went wrong, what happened? What were the side effects?
Violence, aggression, and insanity.
Before Tony's sanity drifts away, he combines his equipment with Norman's to fight against the humanoid spiders invading Manhattan. This absolutely bonkers backstory ends with Iron Goblin sacrificing himself to save his friends. We're not going to make sense of how a humanoid spider became a nonsensical mashup of two characters. Instead, we'll just appreciate Tony's noble sacrifice and forget this ever happened. Works for me.
So I thought I'd probably better record a little greeting in the case of an untimely death on my part.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.